Yeah, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to follow that, Tom.
All the groups.
You know, a couple, so Tom is not my coach.
Nope.
No, but a couple, I don't know, a handful of Super Saturdays ago, Tom looked at me and said, you and me are having coffee. And I said, I shall not think that, no.
No, we are not.
Nope. And guess what didn't happen? We never had coffee. Nope. Okay. So I am so excited I get to share a couple things with you guys. I hope I leave you guys with some to-dos, some excitement, and a topic I'm going to cover today is duplication and also rewarding, right? Rewarding people that are in your guys' organization, okay? So something you guys don't know about me, at the beginning of November, I suffered a very severe head injury. And we've been with Longevity coming up on, what, 3 years now? I've been in the industry for January will be 9 years, will be my anniversary, then a professional network marketer. I worked alongside surgeons in inpatient, outpatient orthopedic surgery, and I worked in a physical therapy clinic. And somebody introduced network marketing to me. I said yes, I followed a system. 8 weeks later, I retired for the rest of my life as a professional network marketer, and I've done that ever since. The industry has supported me through so many seasons. I've been a single mom, and I never missed a moment as a single mom. I made everything because this industry allowed that for me. So it's powerful. I want you guys to know it's really powerful. Anyway, lead up to we get into longevity, and I was in another company. So how do you recruit network marketers? Okay, my husband brought me and sat me right here where Dee's sitting, and I was tipped off about it. I was so mad because I was successful in another company. I'm thinking, what in the heck is he doing? Well, he had already joined, right? And so you can imagine what it was like in our house. I love this industry because it's given me so much. I met my husband in this industry, and when we first met, I was actually Joel's coach. And then, you know, we built a friendship, and then you start dating and you fall in love, and it turns out you can't coach your husband anymore. So we moved on from that, and we became really great partners. So I came here and I sat here. One of the questions is, how do you recruit somebody in network marketing? They loved me to death, more than anyone else. Tom never tried to sell me on anything. He never had nothing. All they continued to do, I remember meeting with Scott, and he said, how are you doing the other company? And you know what he said to me? Whatever you need, I'll support you. And I was like, what? So Sandra was here. We met Sandra. Guess what? Sandra was in another company. And Sandra decided to stay because Sandra decided to come here and be a part of this company and get CEO qualified, now building her business. And she did that because we loved her. You guys, that's what it's about, okay? That's what it's about. So, so after I had my head injury in November, this is the first time I've done a public speaking engagement since then, because I smashed my face, and I dealt with some pretty severe things, and I was stuttering. I couldn't remember my name. It was terrible. So I had to take a step back for a couple months out of my organization, which, if you guys know me as a leader, that was gut-wrenching. And in that time frame, I couldn't take responsibility for any success or any failure. And I in that time, as I was reflecting, have I given my team the tools that they need to empower themselves to be successful without me present? Some of them yes, and some of them no. And that was my responsibility. It's your responsibility for when people come to longevity. We're responsible for their experience here, not their success or their failure, but we are responsible for their experience here. Does that make sense? So when people come and they join your organization, you've got to wake up in the morning and be able to say, self, Jenny, right, me, if somebody wants to join my team, do I know how to teach them to communicate with people? Do I know how to teach them how to do three-way calls? Do I know how to teach them how to invite to me? Do I know why I'm even here? You guys have to wake up and be very sound in that. And that's also how people become attracted to you, okay? So a couple tips I'd love to give to you guys today. There was a question on the board, and I've been on the edge of my seat the whole time because I thought, oh my gosh, there's a question on the board that said, what do you say when people ask you what you do? Oh my gosh. There are so many things that you could write down. I'm a professional so-and-so, or I'm a I'm a this, or I'm a fancy pants that, or whatever. And the fancy, Steve uses the, I'm sir fancy pants. That's what Steve says. But the point is, whatever answer is going to come out of your mouth is only serving you, right? So I'm going to give you guys something that if I'm going to be transparent, this happened by accident. I always get into conversations with people, but I ask questions, like Tom. I ask questions because I'm not going to be backed in a corner. I ask the questions, okay? However, one day I was at Grace Place. I had a meeting there. We were enrolling somebody into longevity, and I went to go get something to eat at the cafe, and the gal that was checking me out there, my bill, yeah, I knew that. I knew it happened. I know Steve. Yeah, that's why Steve and I can't spend time together. Yeah, yeah. So she said, "What are you doing there for a PJ over there?" And I said, we're just connecting today. And she said, "Okay." So she said, "What do you do?" I was like, after 8 years, I'm caught. I'm like, what? So I panicked, and I'm going to tell you what I said, and it's the same answer I've said every time since. I said, "Heather, let me ask you a question. What do you need?" And she goes, "What?" I said, "What do you need?" And she said, "Well, $1 million. I said, "Well, I can't get you that by tomorrow, but we can talk about you making some more money." And she said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, that's what I do." And she goes, "Okay, well, can we meet tomorrow?" I said, "Sure." So no kidding, every time somebody says to me, "Nikki, what do you do?" That's what I say. I stop and I say, "What do you need? What do you need more of in your life right now?" Because whatever answer they give me, that's what I do. Right, Stanley? That's what you do. If they want mansions and diamonds and cars, a successful life, right, Stanley and I got to know each other, then I'm going to say, that's what I do. We should sit down and talk about that. Why don't you unpack that for me? Okay, so that I had to answer that question because that's so sincere. Can you guys all do that?
Yes.
Yes. Instead of saying, "Well, I'm a mom and I work at such and such and I do such and such things," just ask them, what do they need? And then say, let's talk about that because that's what I do. Let's have coffee. Let's sit down and unpack that a little bit. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to also share was what it looks like to be a leader, what it looks like to have growth. In order for you guys to lead a team and an organization, you must first know where you're coming from and who you are. That is so important. You must be grounded in all the principles of network marketing. Eric and Marina Warre are really good friends of Tom and Denise, and he has incredible steps inside of network marketing, and they're all things that we have access to, and they're required for our industry. So meaning three-way calls and third-party connections. Is that right? That's clear? Okay, so you guys have to be good at those things. You have to become good at those things. When you're good at those things, you pass them forward. So inside, Tom mentioned some of the growth that we had last month and the growth that we've had this month. And Tom was right. There was something that clicked with me after I came back. And I thought, this has to be different. Something here has to be different. And these ranks, you guys, are amazing. 1 star is amazing. The brick rank is amazing. And it's a symptom of one thing: action.
Beautiful.
It's a symptom of action. And if somebody's going to take action, they have to know what to do. And in order to know what to do, they have to have a system. Are you guys using a system, right? So I'm going to introduce you to somebody. She's going to share her story really quick. Her name is Amber Gray. She's an incredible young lady. You're not going to believe this, but she came to my house one day and I answered the door in my underwear. That's how we met. And just kidding. That's not at all. So that was God's story. Yes, that's okay. She's an amazing young lady, and Amber's been with us for quite some time. She has had major fears. And then one day I stopped her. I said, "Amber, what is going on with you? What is the deal?" I mean, basically, she's so afraid of having a meeting that it's like she's going to be attacked by a bear, okay? But as a leader, I looked in her eyes and I said, "Amber, I need you to know something. After 8 years, I don't wonder if this works. I don't guess if this works. We've retired people home. We've gotten them into cars. I don't wonder if this works. Allow me to take you through 3 phases. You're going to build confidence. You're going to qualify people, and you're going to set up meetings, and you can do it this week. You're going to be very successful. And she said, okay, what's my first step? And I'll tell you, she graduated all 3 phases. Amber, come up here and share a little bit about your story.
Awesome. So excited to be up here again today. As she said, my name's Amber, and yeah, I have been in longevity for over a year and a half, and network marketing for even longer as a kid. And I have sat here and I've learned, and like she said, just had this fear like I was gonna die, and like every step, every day, being like, oh, I could almost, and then I would just freak out and I would shut down. And finally, just like she said, we had this moment, and I said, okay, but I'm afraid. And she said, no, not that. Okay, and we finally got to the root, and it was so cool because my heart finally aligned. I kicked my brain out, and I hired my heart, and it was like, I just want to serve people, and the only way I'm going to do that is if I'm connecting with people, and that finally happened this week. So I run in the middle of a team challenge, and so that has some accountability, because if the rest of my team ranks and I don't rank, and so it's like, I gotta get out and talk to people. And I went into my old job and connected with some old friends of mine, and my friends telling me about this horrible health issue they're just going through, and I'm like, I have the solution. I can help her. And normally I would feel that, and then I would walk out and do nothing. And instead I said, hey, I know some people that, know natural health and really care about solving this for people. Is that something that you'd be open to? And she said, yes. And I said, awesome. I'd love to connect you with my friend.
Simple as that.
Boom.
Done.
That was it.
And it finally happened. Finally happened. And the next day, she tells me, hey, I actually don't have time anymore because I'm looking at having surgery now. And I was like, no, I have to wait. And I was actually at my work, and I was, where's my boss? She's like, okay, she's not here. I was not on my phone at work for sure. And I was like playing the most massive game of phone tag with Nikki, like trying to get hold. And finally we get on the phone, and I'm like, here's the thing, I want to serve her so bad. And she's like, looking at having surgery, and like, if that's not necessary and Dr. Wall can help her, I want this so bad. And that night we get on the phone with my friend Haley, and it was amazing because I edified Nikki on the call, before the call, and we get on, and I was silent the whole time. And Nikki works through a conversation with my friend about what she's going through in her health, and my friend says, yeah, that's something I'd be open to. And
that was a major win. Pretty great, isn't it?
Yeah.
yes, very good.
But there's 3 things in there. There's 3 things in there. And I just did a training. We're building this incredible team down in Barbados. They're actually on today. So Pastor Paul and your group, welcome into our Super Saturday. There was a question on how do you grow teams that are elsewhere? You make it happen. Technology is a beautiful thing. And if you live in a city where there's not a Scott Bardoulis, you are the dang Scott Bardoulis. Make the meeting.
Yeah.
Schedule the meeting. You're good enough. Yeah. You are more than enough to do that. Okay, so we've got this team down there, and I give this training over, we have a presentation, and I give this training, and there's a young gal in the back of the room. Her name is Shalita, and she looks disengaged. I just got done celebrating her for several things that she just succeeded in. Here's how we got connected. I said, Pastor Paul, there's 3 steps that you're going to take when you meet every person in your life. When we're in network marketing, there's 2 ways to do it. Okay, you can do it Tom's way, but here's the thing. None of us are Tom. Okay, but there's an us way. And I've been in the industry for 8 years, and there's a reason why at least 50% of the people in our life still don't know what I do for a living. It's because they're not in a position or open-minded enough to hear it right now. Okay, if I go out and deliver a speech or an agenda, and I go call 200 friends today to tell them what I'm doing, am I serving them or myself? Myself. So the key is to pick people and ask them questions. And so as I'm giving this training, this young woman is doing this in the meeting. Step one is ask somebody what they need more of in their life right now. Just ask your friend, ask a stranger. What do you need more of? Just ask them that. The girl is doing this while we're in the meeting. So if you guys are looking down at your phone, just do it. I don't care. She's doing this while we're in the meeting. So then she looks up. I moved on to the next thing. Second question is, once you find out what they need more of, you ask them, do they have the steps figured out to achieve that goal or that dream? If they say, yes, I do, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yes, I do. I've got the steps figured out. And you say, wow, I'm so proud of you. If ever in that journey you don't, will you remember we had this conversation? Whether it's health, time, or wealth related. Is this clear?
Yeah.
Right? Because they might say, oh, I need more health. And I say, do you have everything figured out around that? Are you open to a discussion? If they say, no, I'm good. I've got it figured out. I've got this doctor. Is it your job to shove longevity down their throat? No. It's your job to love them where they're at, Tom, right? Love them where they're at. So if somebody says, you know what, I don't have it figured out and I am open-minded, you say, great. I'd love to chat with you about that this week. Let's have a connection so you can unpack that for me. You guys have set up a meeting. When they show up and tell you what they need, instead of delivering longevity in a sales pitch way, when you find out they need more help, they need more time, or they need more finances, why not deliver longevity to them in a way that makes sense? You'll get 100% of your enrollments that way. So this gal does this in our meeting, okay? She does this in our meeting. She's texting. She just texts out a handful of people. She gets responses. She says, hey, are you open to a conversation around that? And they say, heck yes. Do you know somebody? Do we meet, or what's the thing? She's got a handful of people who are now open to a conversation, and that's exciting. Those are meetings, okay? But one of the steps to growing leadership is you've got to be willing to step out of the way and hand over the power. The people in the front of the room generally are the ones making the most money. Statistically speaking, when it comes to network marketing, the people in front of the room are the ones making the most money. So why is it that you're not putting your teams in front of the room? Why are people not being recognized in that way? So that night, I said to Pastor Paul, I said, hey, we do a live presentation, longevity presentation. And I said, before the meeting tonight, you're doing the first half. And he said, I am? I said, yes, I'm going to train you on it. It's fine. Go off of your notes. I'm going to train you on it. You're going to show up and be your best self. Here's some pointers. That's all I'm giving you, because I don't want you to be me. I want you to be you. Man, that guy delivered the first half of that presentation. I could have signed up underneath it. I think he's mailing me an application. I told him, Pastor Paul, that was so good. I could sign up underneath you. And then I closed the meeting out. And so here's the Shalita. This is in Pastor Paul's team. And so I get this message that says, Nikki, can you speak with her people? Well, my immediate response is yes. Yes, I'll speak with her people. I called Pastor Paul the next morning and I said, listen, Pastor Paul, yeah, I have to apologize for something. I stepped in the way of your leadership. You are good enough. You are educated. You are powerful. It's your turn to take over those three-way calls. You're going to do all of Shalita's calls. I've done hundreds, Pastor Paul, for you. It's your turn to pass on this knowledge to the team. So growing leaders and growing a team means you have to have a system so nailed down, so available for your team that you know when it's time to pass it forward. So where does leadership actually start? It starts with you. If you leave here today and you say, what if you sign up a Tom Chenault or a Scott Pardulis, and Jenny, they sit across from you and say, I am ready to go, what's next? And you're like, okay, God will give you what you're prepared for. So go home and prepare yourself. You all are worthy of having somebody like yourself, a Scott, a Stephen D., a Dana in your organization. They will show up, and if you're ready, they'll stay, they'll be successful. If you're not ready, it's a crash and burn. Don't do that. People are not expendable. I'm so passionate about this because we here inside of network marketing are taking on entrepreneurs who have no idea what to do. They're scared to death. They're nervous, right? They're nervous, right, Carly? And they're scared to death. So we must know the steps in order to pass them forward. And the last thing I want to close with you guys is this. Our number one goal is actually to praise, celebrate, and reward our people. Not when they get to 1 star. If you wait to celebrate somebody until they get to 1 star, you are too late. You're too late. When you catch your team doing something good, you praise that. So I'm going to share a story with you. My friend Carly's here. Hi, Carly. That's a show. They should have made you in it, but they didn't. They missed the boat there. Okay, so my friend Carly, we've known each other for so many years. We're basically related at this point. And Carly joined a handful, like a year and a half ago. She bought $500 worth of makeup. Okay, she bought $500 worth of makeup, and life happened. Things got in the way. And she got married. They moved several times. She got disconnected inside of Longevity for 9 months. Wasn't done events and stuff like that. And we missed Carly. We missed her. So we have a private group page, and it's grown. There's major interaction on there. And it's because we reward little things. Amber was rewarded for her breakthrough in fear. People are rewarded just when they join. Yes, they're rewarded if they hit rank. But I called Carly one day. I said, Carly, I miss you inside of our Longevity team. And I have a question for you. And she said, sure. I said, I'd like to interview you on our Facebook page. And you can tell everybody about our makeup because nobody knows more than you. And she goes, but I haven't done anything. I said, that you're missing the point. I don't care. She said, I haven't ranked. I haven't enrolled anyone. I said, Carly, I don't care. You're the only one that knows about our makeup like you do. If I interview you, could you freshen up your skills and teach everybody? Okay. 2 hours after I made that phone call to Carly, guess what she texted me? I just bought my ticket to convention. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my gosh, do you guys see how powerful that is? And I said, that's amazing. And then she said, guess what? A little bit later, she said, I just ordered another healthy body pack. Did I say anything to her? People want to be loved here. When they go to their job during the day, they're to meet quotas. They're probably overworked and underpaid, and they're not appreciated. Your number one job is to celebrate, reward, and appreciate the people that are here.
Yeah.
Okay? So on a different Facebook Live, I just do these quick 10-minute things. We interview people to show the team that this isn't a double dip chocolate 5-star fancy pants. This is an extraordinarily average individual who's kicking butt. They bring value, and here's what they know about. I got on a live one day just to plug into the team and talk about these live interviews. And a gal popped up on there that we had enrolled a couple years ago. And I said her name. I said, hey, I'll see you on here. Maybe I'll interview you. And so we get off. The live closes, and she sends me a message. I'm having a hard time signing up. I was like, signing up for what? You're already signed up. She's like, well, I'm trying to order my CEO pack. This was like years had gone by when she'd done nothing. I simply mentioned her name and just put the value out there that she brings something here. You guys see the power in that? It's so big. So the key that you guys got to walk away with today, go home and sit down and write your steps down. Write your steps down. They're not going to be me, and they're not going to be Scott, and they're not going to be Tom throwing chairs at people. Don't do that. They're going to be you. Write your steps down. When somebody joins my team, what is next? Was it today? Was it 72 hours? Right? Is it to get them on a call? What is next for you? Because when they get here, again, we're not responsible for their success or their failure. We're responsible for their experience. And so I want to leave you guys with that. And in the process, catch your people doing something good. If you wait till 1 star, you've missed the boat. You wait till 1 star, you've missed the boat. So I'm going to close this out because I want somebody to share a story today. It's powerful. It's powerful about network marketing. I have owned, we own a couple of businesses. I've owned a handful of brands. And there's one thing I love about network marketing. It is the only business that pays me when I sleep. The end. The other ones require time for money, time for money, time for money. And you guys have all met Callie today. She's an incredible woman. She's a mother. She's built a great team. And what's nice about what Callie has going on, the system is so in place that people are able to take it on and be themselves. Her team is growing and growing and growing without her there. And so Callie told me a story one day that I thought was so powerful. And so Callie, if you can come up here and share your story about you being home with the baby. Oh, with the baby. So silent claps. Silent claps. Golf clapping. No clapping. Hands rubbing. That's a good noise. Everybody bring Callie. Okay.
So this is silence. This is how you.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's how you cheer.
Jazz hands.
No, it's actually
Okay.
like when you're silent.
Yeah. So Callie, can you share everybody? It was so powerful. She started telling me the story one day. She goes, she has a Studio K business. She's an incredible entrepreneur. And she's a great student of network marketing, which means she was such a great student, she turned into a fabulous teacher. And she said, Nikki, I put so many hours into my Studio K business. Tell them that story.
Yeah. So baby's born. She was born 3 weeks early, which is great when you're tired of being pregnant, but not great when you're trying to do other things in life. And so what happened was I had to kind of halt all the Studio K things, right? And as soon as I got back, I was behind. I had to put director mode on. I had to pay my contractors. I had to get invoicing out. And this was all while she was hardly eating, and I was not sleeping. I'm going to tear up just telling the story because I had like half an hour sleep and I do the full process over again. And then like in between, when I'm trying to sleep, I'm writing checks and putting on my director hat and doing all the things that you have to do for your own business. And they were sweet. They were like, yeah, we know you can't be here. Like my students didn't need me, but I was still a director. And so those things didn't stop. And I spent those hours making no money doing that. And I literally made no money for the studio because my students weren't there. And then within a couple of weeks of the baby being born, a Studio K, a longevity check came in, and I had done nothing for longevity except be big.
That's a great story. Go on maternity leave and make some money.
Yeah.
That's so great.
And it just as a reminder that the team here is truly is there for you. They love you through the seasons that you're in, and you did a great job picking up the slack that I felt like I was slacking, even though I wasn't. She would help some of my team members. I mean, they're here testimonies to, I wish I could have been there for them, but they didn't feel like I wasn't. And now I can come back and be there for them. And so I'm really thankful that it wasn't like, oh, you're gone now, so we'll just take over. It wasn't like that either. It was like a big, huge supportive family that said, we're supporting you in a season and we know that you want to be here. So thank you.
Awesome.
It's amazing. So as you guys go out and you build your businesses, please go home and figure out the system because, again, people are not expendable. They're coming here to start a career. And if you go start a job somewhere, you get the next step. You get the next step. You get the next step. And that's what they need to have here. Treat it like a business and it's going to pay you like that. And think about what it looks like to pass leadership forward. It's a delicate balance. You hold on to them just long enough. Too soon is too soon. Too long is your own ego. Let people go and be great. Okay? So I hope you guys, yes, go ahead.
Can you do a summary of the 3 steps?
Yep, the 3 steps. Yep. And it's really similar. You guys will hear that there's a lot of similarities inside of everything that's talked about up here. So if I meet somebody, right, and I meet Steve and I say, my gosh, Steve, what are you most excited about this year? What do you need more of in your life? Steve's going to tell me something. Steve's going to tell me something. And if you guys have ever watched Tom, he's good at hearing and identifying things that people need in their life. In those questions, I'm going to hear something like time, health, wealth, or community. So that's a step, right? Or travel. Yeah. Time would be travel, right? Time, health, wealth, or community. Something in there is going to come up. And you ask the question. The second thing is you have to qualify those individuals. Qualify them. Are they open-minded or do they have it figured out? Do they have that all taken care of? Is every step figured out? And if they say, yes, I've got it, nothing's getting in my way, I've had these meetings. I say, man, that's amazing. If that ever changes, you remember we had this conversation, because I will show up for you. If ever you doubt, I'll show up for you, and we'll have a conversation, okay? So you qualify them by asking, are they open-minded? And then the third step is, if you are a veteran, you've been in for a while, you do your own meetings, invite them to you. If you're brand new and you don't know what a meeting looks like or how to share the presentation, or you've not been trained on it, take them to somebody else, to Tom, right? He'll love them right into it, right? Or take them to Steve. Take them to somebody in your organization and set up a meeting. So it's powerful. You know, I had a meeting with a gal, and when I asked her about her health, it was dire. It was dire. And I asked her if she was open-minded to discussing something else, or did she have it figured out? And she kind of gave this attitude like, well, if I have to get up early in the morning, go to the gym, blah, 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 right? Is she open-minded? I'm not going down that road. I'm sorry, lady, but today you don't get to know what I do for a living, right? So we had this conversation. I get ready to leave. Joel picks me up at the coffee shop. I get ready to leave, and she goes, we've been here for an hour. I talked about myself. I did my job. And I have no idea what you do for a living. And I said, Kristen, what I do for a living doesn't matter until you're serious about your health. So it's okay. I'm here to support you and love you. So whether I'm a doctor, a lawyer, or a stay-at-home mom, will you love me the same? She said, yeah. That was on a Friday. On a Sunday, she ended up in the hospital. Guess who called me? She said, I'm serious about my health and I don't know what to do. And she became a customer of ours. So if you guys are in control of the conversation and the questions, then you guys get to decide who you're sharing this with and who you're sitting down with. And the goal is to serve them. You're serving them, meeting them where they need to be met. Is that clear? That give you guys some steps to take home today? Go ask somebody today what they need more of. Go get good at that. So thank you, Tom, for letting me
Love you. Thank you.